this week's Fat Quarter Shop Flosstube. Today is July 3rd. Just so you know, this is pre-recorded because I'm going to be out of town. But I'm happy to answer any questions that you guys have in the comments. And it is week 4 of our Sew She Did Sew Along. And so this is our beautiful piece. This one was stitched on 14 count white Aida, and we use DMC for this. This one is stitched on 25 counts Lugana using Aurifil, and this one was stitched by Lori Holt. She is the artist that designed all of this, and this is her Riley Red vintage trim. And then this is the same as this one. So today what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to attach buttons, and this is just the way that I made it up. It's not anything earth-shattering. It might be totally different how you do it, so if you're more comfortable with how you do it, that's totally fine too. So I'm going to just move my chair a little bit, and then we're going to start working on buttons. So what Lori used on this top part and your little knob are her cute little buttons that come in a 1/4 inch size. And then on her 2 knobs, she used buttons from her button jars. Now these button jars have been discontinued, so once they're gone, they're gone. But I used different ones on my sample than she did, and I'm gonna go ahead and just show you how I did the buttons. So the first thing I did was I'm just gonna open them and put them in a little container so they don't go all over my table. So I'm gonna put them in her little recipe box that she did. And then I'm just gonna kind of pull a few and just start laying them out. And when she picked these, she did the ones with just the 2 holes rather than the 4. And I'm just gonna replicate what she did. And when you're stitching these on, you'll want to use matching thread so that you can't see. It just looks a lot cleaner. So it's going to be a lot of start and stop. And of course you can do any colors you want. You don't have to do it exactly the way that she has it. So I'm kind of going to just pull my buttons out first, and then I'll set them aside, and then we'll start. That way I've got everything ready to go and it's easy to get to. This is fun. This is like your 10 again, playing with buttons. So fun. Okay, so then we're gonna do a pink one. Okay, so that looks really good to me. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna do the green and the pink for you. So I'm gonna just move these aside, leave them on my table, and I'm gonna start with the pink. She used 3 strands of embroidery floss, whether it's Aurifil or DMC, and I wanna show you how hers looked versus mine. So if you look at hers, you can tell that she only went through the hole once. So she's got 3 strands. When I made my sample, I went through twice. You can tell that I did once and then once again. So it's totally personal preference how you want to do it. I like mine to be a tiny bit more secure, so that's why I did mine that way. So to do this, I am going to I have 3 strands already set aside, and I'm just using my regular needles that I use, which are the John James 26 gold plated that were recommended to me by Vicki McGee. They're totally awesome needles. Sometimes they're hard to thread. It's a little bit harder to thread 3 strands, as you can see, to get in these needles. It's a little bit harder. Okay, so now that it took me forever to strand it, I am going to first figure out by looking at the pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7. going to figure out where I'm going to be, and I'm going to go ahead and secure this thread to the back. So I'm going to pull my thread through the back. And then I want it to be secure, so I'm going to go through the loop one more time, trim the edge off. Okay. I'm going to look again at my, I don't want you to see the whole pattern though. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can see it takes a little bit of time to really count, make sure you're in the right spot. And I am going to just come in through that Ada, just in the middle of the X. I mean the middle of the square. Each of the buttons has a wrong and a right side. One is a little bit flatter and one is a little bit curved. So you can just figure out what side you like. I like the one that's a little bit round on the top. And I'm just going to put my button on, come back down 1 stitch across, and go down. And then just make sure it's even. Now you can leave it just like this. That's what Lori did. Or you can go through it one more time, which is what I like to do. So I'm just going to follow the back. Go back in the same exact hole, go back down, and it is so cute. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is there's no more pink on the, I don't have another light pink, so I can't pull my threads over. So I'm going to go ahead and finish off this. And I'm going to just go through 4 or 5 stitches and then maybe do a couple more on top of it and cut. Okay, so I'm going to do a teal one below it. And then I'll do a red one so you can see. I like doing the buttons. It's really fun. It can be a little bit tedious and it can be a little bit stressful if you're OCD like me, like getting it in the exact right spot. But in the end, it's going to look beautiful. So, let's see. Okay, so this is the one that goes here. So I'm going to kind of look at my pattern and see. So I know it's going to go about right there, so I'm just going to pull this to the back. Again, pull it through about 5 stitches. When it gets to the end, I'm going to go back through 2 stitches. And then if you yank on your thread, you don't have a knot, but your thread's not going to move by anchoring it one more time. So I'm just going to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's hard for me to count from the back, so. So I'm going in between the 2 Ada marks. Or you could do it on the line. You can do it however you want. You can move it a little bit if you want. And I'm just going to go up and down. Keep my threads straight on the back. Make sure nothing turns behind there. Go back down. Oh, it's so cute. It looks good and it looks straight. Okay, so now I'm going to go back through the back. So that looks really straight and good. So on the back again, what I'm going to do is just kind of go through a couple stitches, pull taut, and go back through a little bit more. That way it won't come out. And then I'm going to do a red button. So this can be a little bit tedious just because start, stop, start, stop. But in the end, it looks really pretty. And if you didn't use the if you didn't use the matching thread, how she has the matching thread, it would look really funny. So it is nice to take the time. So for here, I'm going to show you how I'm going to pick those buttons. So from her little button jar, I'm just going to look and see. And those are the ones that I used. And the one she used might be a little bit smaller. So you could do big, small. Let's see what else is in this jar. So I think I'll go with the small one. I think it looks better. And she has 3 different button jars, and they all have different buttons within them. And again, I'm going to use I'm going to use 3 strands. And actually, I'm going to get both buttons out, and I'm going to show you how I do both at the same time. So let's see if we have matching. It'd be really cute to put a pink one there. So I just need to find 2 matching real quick before I start. There we go. So again, I'm going to use 3 strands. I'm going to anchor the back. Again, go through a couple of stitches. 5 is generally what I do. Oops, it went a little too far. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to go back through the last 2. And now nothing moves, and there's no knot. So I've got to find the center of this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, and one thing I didn't say, but you will want to go ahead and iron your piece before you put your buttons on, because when you iron later, you don't want it to be too wrinkled. So I think this is about the center. Now on this one, I'm going to do an X. So I'm going to pull this, go down, and I'm just going to do like a little cross stitch in the center. When you're doing buttons, you can just pull them and it'll go down naturally. And then I'm going to go down 1 stitch. This is basically just doing a cross stitch on a button. It worked the first time. I can't even believe it. That was camera luck. Okay, we're going to go 1 more time over. And again, when Lori did hers, she only went through once. So again, personal preference, do what works for you. Whatever you think looks best. So I've got that. Now I want it to stay tight, so I'm not going to travel yet. I'm going to secure the threads, and again, no knot. I'm just going to go through 3 strands, pull it, and then I'm going to go back down. I'm going to go down here. This is the center, and I'm going to let that thread travel. It'll be totally fine, because right after this we're going to frame it. And again, I'm just going to go through, add the button, and I can tell it got a little twisted, so I'm going to just look. I'm going to make sure I untwist it. I'm going to go through and do another X. Okay, I'm going to do one more stitch, and then at this point I'm really looking at it. Is it straight? Sorry. Is it straight with the camera? Is it straight with the camera? Is it straight with the top? So is the bottom and the top, do they look straight? You know, when you look here, she's got it looking really straight. And again, that's the best thing about buttons. You can get buttons at Joann's. You can get buttons anywhere. You can use vintage buttons. You can just totally have fun. And this one I'm doing a little bit bigger button. So I've done something funny back here. So see, I've got something funny going on here. So I'm going to fix that. I'm not really sure what happened, but we're going to fix it. There. Just needed to pull it a little bit. And I think the buttons really make this project. They really make it original. And it gives you opportunity, like I think pink would be cute on the little knobs instead of red. So okay, and I'm going to look, and it looks straight. I'm going to do one more X, finish it off, and then we can go on to the other stuff. And I pull really taut, pull it through the back, again about 4 or 5 stitches. Go back through. And ta-da, that's how you put buttons on. So you'll want to go ahead and finish by putting the rest on. The rest go here, and then you have a little knob here. And she used a button from the little bag for right here, so I think she used that button. So you would just go ahead. This would probably take about 2 hours to do. Just take your time, and then when you're done with it, you'll want to iron it again. I like to use a really thick white towel. I get a white towel from Bed Bath & Beyond that's super, super, super thick, like the nastiest, thickest thing. And then what I do is on my ironing board, I put my piece face down. I put a fluffy white towel on the bottom, and then I pull the towel to the top, or you can just get 2 hand towels, and then I iron. And that really kind of sinks in the softness of the towel and your work. But there are some pressing cloths you can get, but I do prefer a really fat, thickest you can do towel. That's what I like to do on the bottom and the top, and I do press from the back. And then you can either frame it, or you can finish it just like Lori did. Lori used her vintage trim, and this is her Farm Girl Vintage Companion fabric. And what she did is this on the top is sticky board. So she got the sticky board, She stuck it down, she pulled it to the back and taped it. And then here, this is a poster board that's slightly thicker, so it's thinner than the sticky board. And she just covered the poster board and then glued the poster board to the back. So have fun finishing and make sure you hashtag. Okay. So now let's talk about Jolly July. Jolly July started on Monday. It is a stitch along between Kimberly at Fat Quarter Shop and Priscilla and Chelsea of the Real Housewives of Cross Stitch. You can download this free PDF that you can fill in on either the Fat Quarter Shop blog or on the Stitching with the Housewives or Kimberly Stitch Squad. It's a little PDF that you can just print and handwrite, or you can just write your stuff. So I put mine on a poster board so it's nice and thick so I can take it in my bag. So on Monday I showed you all the supplies you need for this little guy. This is Santa from Christmas Cheer, and you can see that I've added some little buttons. These are just another button company. This is just a little ribbon with a button on top. I got this little paddle board at Hobby Lobby in the frame section, the small frame section. So this is the first one, and then this is Friday's. So on Friday's video, I'm gonna show you how you can finish your projects into something like this. And I'm also gonna show you what I'm doing this week. So I have everything in my little whip bag that I put together. There's a video on how to do this. And basically this week, I did Santa. I'm doing these triplets. So these are the three. I'm doing, let's see, Merry and Bright, which is here. And then I have two more that I'm doing this week. And so I love my little calendar because it keeps me. I'm going to be doing this Christmas ornament from 2016. That's Little House Needleworks. And I'm doing this Fa La La by Country Cottage Needleworks. So that is going to be my first week. And what I'm going to be doing is the first 5 I am going to finish this way. And the reason I did mine this way is this is kind of a small board. So I needed to pick my smaller projects. So my first week is going to be my smaller projects. And on my video, I have listed all my little thread colors that I picked, and all the details that you would need will be in my Monday and Friday videos, and we hope you join along with us. We have our winner from this week is Karen Stepani. And she did this post. Lily will pop it up, but it says, I've chosen my first 20 days of projects, selected floss, and cut fabrics from FQS Jolly July. Some are more complicated, so I gave them more than one day. I'd like to get far enough along that I wind up in the realm of finishable this summer, which I totally get. And it's really cute how she put it together. She has a little bag, and then she has like little file folders, and it just looks totally like something I would do because I have way too much organization going on. So we've got that, and then now I'm gonna show you some finishes, some whips, some new products, just a combination of all the things we have going on. So the first thing I want to show you is Lori designed some square frames. So one thing that Lori and I found is when we were starting to get into cross stitch, it's really hard to find square frames that fit. So this is her small vintage square frame. You can find these exclusively at Fat Quarter Shop. They're already painted. You can paint them, you can paint over them if you want with the new Lori Holt Chalky Chicks paint if you want. But this is a small. And she did different different outsides. This is the medium. And this is the large. And what she's going to be doing is showing you in Farm Girl Vintage 2, which is a quilt book. She has instructions on how you can turn quilt blocks, how you can frame them and put them in here, and then she's going to be designing cross stitch that fits into here. And this medium, there's going to be a new cross stitch pattern for the medium. It's going to come out in about 2 weeks, and she just finished it this weekend. It's really awesome, and she painted the frame gray, and it's, oh my gosh, it's so cute. So I know you guys are going to love that. We have shipped our Harvest Chockful. That has now shipped if you are a member of our club. We totally appreciate you being a member. And I can't wait to see how much you guys stitch on it. I haven't stitched on mine yet, but by next week, I will have a lot of progress, I'm hoping. So there's that. And I wanted to take the time to show you, if you don't want to use fancy floss, what you can do and how you can do it with her patterns, because it can be confusing. So if you open the pattern, any hands-on design patterns, I'm going to cover the pattern. At the tops, can you zoom in, Lily, for me? Sorry, because I don't know if I can stand up with all the stuff in my lap. So she puts the classic Colorworks trail dust, and then parentheses 3862. So this parentheses is your DMC color. So if you don't want to use classic Colorworks, if you are on a budget, if you don't want variegated, if you just love DMC, which I do, you can do DMC with these. And that's how you know, because we've had a lot of questions on that. So that's how you know that. And I just want to show you the colors so that if you want to do this in DMC, you can see. So the bean sprout conversion, this is the difference. Here, we can do this. We can do this. So this is the conversion. So you can see that it's pretty similar. This and all this information, if you click on our product on our website, lists all the colors for you. This is your brown conversion. So it's slightly different. This is your Queen Bee conversion. And I will say that I love Queen Bee. Queen Bee is probably one of my favorites. Your chalk, this is your chalk, which is 3865. And this is your deep fennel conversion. So I just wanted to show this. This one does look slightly different, but I did want to just show you that if this is something you want to do, if you've never worked with classic Colorworks and you're not in our club and you want to try, that's how they look, so that it's relatable. I want to show you some new patterns we got. So we got, this is a year in chalk, which was done a couple years ago, and they're by Hands on Design, Kathy, and I'm just going to show them to you. And we had a customer call to request them, and I really liked them when I saw them, and we're selling these individually or in a set, and they're all super cute. And I've seen a lot of these on Instagram, but I never really realized that they all went together, that there was like a whole series of 12. So we just got these in, and I know they're older, but they're cute. And they're on a thicker paper. I don't want to show the back. They're a thicker paper, so it's just like two-sided. So it's nice and hefty, so if you're going to put it in your bag, it's not flimsy. It will hold up. I want to show you two finishes and give a huge thank you to Priscilla and Chelsea for helping us, because these are awesome. Oh my gosh. So this is red, white, and blue. And so this is going to be a kit later this month. We used oatmeal vintage cloth. That's Lori's. This is Lori Holt's fabric, I believe. And she put this on a little frame that I think she got at Hobby Lobby, and a bow, and it's awesome, and we're just like in awe. And so, yep, Hobby Lobby. Home decor, 15 by 17 inch frame. Really awesome. So thank you. We're so excited. And this one is mine. So this is from our kit. We have a kit for Quaker Flag. And what we did is, this is a Stitch Your Hood pattern, and we used, let's see, Vintage Country Mocha DMC. No, Vintage Country Mocha Ada. And so I made the little flag, and she finished it, and it's so awesome. You can see the thread variegation that I did, and she just put a little bow, and I love it. And I love how she put two different fabrics behind it to really make it pop. And so we got this wooden piece at Joann's and mailed it to Priscilla, and she painted it with Lori's chalky paint, and then she just glued it down with hot glue. She loves hot glue. So this is so Awesome. So this would be something that you guys could do if you have done the kit. So many people, so many of you guys have sewn along with us, and I love seeing everybody's work, and I'm so excited that the colors that we chose came out good, because it's always risky to like put a kit together and what if it doesn't look good. And oh my gosh, I cannot wait. Now I can take it home. So excited. It's so pretty.
Do you know what color chalky paint she used?
Yep, she used Picket Fence, which is the only white color that Lori has. And then we have put together some new floss packs. So for Classic Colorworks, we have a monthly club where you can get 6 skeins a month by color. And we thought, well, we're leaving Weeks Dye Works out. So we put together some color packs, and this is how they come packaged. So on one side has all your colors, and they're in order from light to dark. So this is our neutral pack. This is our autumn pack. And some have 15 and some have 20. This is our bright pack. So if you're just getting into fancy floss, this is a way to try it. And this is our spring pack. So I just wanted to show you that that is new. And then 2 more things. So for needle minders, I know it's menders, but I say minders, we have our Piggy. And ta-da, we have Ronnie. So Piggy is my doggy, and Ronnie is Priscilla's dog, and Chelsea has a couple of dogs like this too. So we now have 2 needle minders. So cute that you can get at Fat Quarter Shop. And then next week, I am going to be talking about this pattern. This is Love My Stitching by Hands On Design. And basically what I'm going to do is talk through the colors I used, the floss I used, and just how I put it together that's slightly different than the way she did. I used the same exact dimensions. And this is hers. So they came out, I mean, almost exactly the same. Mine's maybe a tiny bit. And just how she did hers and how mine looks different. And just to show you that anytime you're doing any kind of craft, you can make it your own. I was too scared to do it this way because it's more of a sewer's way and you have to flip it outside and there's no binding, and I wasn't sure how my zipper would fit. I mean, I've never done it, so I was too scared with a zipper, so I just did it the way that I know how. And I'm just going to talk to you about different design choices, different color choices, different things, how you can make it your own, because crafting is just make it fit your style. So that's next week. Okay, we also have some finishes and some whips by Cheryl. So the first one she did is Snow by Snowman Trio by Country Cottage Needleworks. On this one, she stitched on 32 count platinum Lugana, and she used the called for DMC and Classic Colorworks. She changed the red to ribbon red and green to spinach. This is Heart and Hand by called Stay Bumble, and here is her piece. She used 32 count Belfast Vintage Country Mocha linen and the called for Classic Colorworks. And then this is new. We have some new patterns by a company called Tra La La. Everything is in French. So she is doing Jolly July with us, and here's her first 2 Jolly Julys. Tell me that is not cute. She stitched on 32 count Belfast Platinum linen, and she used the DMCs that were called for. And then I have a couple of questions that I'm going to answer. So the first question I have is from Debbie Gallett. How is a Smyrna stitch indicated on a pattern? So I'm going to show you that. And I got to be careful. I don't want to show you the whole pattern, obviously. So I'm going to try to find just one and cover up the rest of the pattern. So this is how it looks on a pattern. That's how the Smyrna star looks. And we have a video that we released that Cheryl did for us, and I wanted to tell you so when most instructions have you do the Smyrna with the cross stitch first and then the plus sign on top, but we think it looks a lot better to do the plus sign first and then the cross on top, because then it really builds that star. So that is what it looks like on a pattern. And I was too scared to do it until Cheryl showed us. So now I'm excited because there's Smyrnas in the center of the big sunflowers. And of course, if you don't want to do a Smyrna, you could do cross stitches. Again, make it your own. You can do it however you want to do it. You don't have to follow everything exactly. Crystal Johns. What do you do when you still have enough thread to use but need to cut it and move to the next thing with the same color? Once you've cut it, you've lost the loop. So if I have a small piece of thread left over, like 4 inches, that I can't loop again, I would throw it away or put it in an Ort jar. An Ort jar, I don't do those, but you can find them on like Pinterest. It's like, Ort stands for something, I don't even know what it stands for, but it's like just your leftover threads, and you make a jar of your leftover threads. And they're actually really cute, but I don't have time for that. So you can do that, or you just put it back on your floss flower. So for example, we keep our threads here, and I would just put my leftover here and then just start again and loop again. So you either, when you finish with your thread, you can either decide that you have enough to keep going, or you can just throw it away. Cheryl Thompson, how do you stitch on linen? So on July 11th, Cheryl has done a video for us with tips on linen, and you can watch that. And then if you have questions, you can put them below, and Cheryl will be happy to answer. She's an expert on linen, and I am not. Linda Gillespie, how do you know where to start on the cloth? So let's see. So this is a question that I'm going to go in depth and try not to confuse anybody, because I've gotten a lot of emails about this. So the first thing you want to do is look on your pattern, and it says this, I'm going to use this one as an example. It says stitch count 45 by 70. So I'm going to take my phone. Now if I want to know the finished size, let's pretend that I'm making this on 14 count. So I'm going to do 45 divided by 14. When I find my calculator, and that means it's going to be 3.25 inches, and I'm going to take 70 divided by 14. So that means it's going to be about 5. So if I do this on 14 count, it should be about 3.5 inches by 5. Now this is small, so you could leave 2 inches all the way around. So you could do 3.5 plus 4, 7.5. plus 9. So you could start with a 7 by 9, and you could go in 2 inches from the top and start here, or you can start in the center and then go around. And to find the center, most patterns have little arrows that tell you where the center is. So let me try to find one so I can show you what it looks like. Yes. So for example, this pattern tells you the center by this having an arrow right here, and then an arrow right here. And then if you follow the 2 arrows, there's your center. So you would fold your fabric in quarters and then find your center and then stitch from there. So basically what you try to do is take your stitch count, divide that by your Ada count. That is your finished size. If it's small, add 4 inches total. If it's big, you might do 3 inches all the way around, which would be 6 inches. And then you can either start in the top left or the center, or you can start in the top right. You can do whatever you want. I usually start in the center unless it's really small, like my ornaments, for example. I'm starting with a big piece, so I will start in the corner so that if there's anything left over, I can use that for another ornament, if that makes sense. So now let me find my list of questions that I've already lost. Let's see. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Stephanie Taylor, is it harder to pull out stitches if you use the railroad method? So if you guys are wondering, the railroad method is where you split your threads before you go down. We have a video on it, and it does not affect how you pull out your stitches at all. It doesn't affect anything. Mary Towns, what are the advantages of stitching in hand over hoops or frames? So if you're a beginner, I would definitely recommend a hoop or a frame. It keeps your fabric taut so that your stitches lay flatter. And if you can get the hang of taking the hoop off, then you can stitch in hand, and it does take a long time to figure it out, but once you figure it out, you're good. But basically, I would just, whatever you're comfortable with. If you want to use a hoop, use a hoop. If you don't want to use a hoop, don't use a hoop. Do whatever you want to do. Kathy Plants, what is the difference between regular Aida and lamb's wool? Okay, we get this question all the time. Lamb's wool is just the color. So I just use that color all the time. So I think I've confused you guys. So for example, this is Graceful Gray. That's the color of Aida. This Aida is Vintage Country Mocha. And lamb's wool, I don't have any right here, but lamb's wool is just the color. So that's what we have for that. We have another winner also. We have our So She Did winner, and the winner we picked today is HHILDREF 13, so Hildreth 13. So she did a really cool sewing machine that's burgundy and pink with yellow knobs. So we thought that was really cool. So guys, thanks for watching. I hope you guys have a great week. I cannot wait to see all of your ornaments. I'm so honored that you're stitching along with me, and I'll see you guys next week.